Morning guys, today I just wanted to make a quick progress update. As I took last week off, I was more than ready for some more tattooing just 2 days ago. I always get tattooed on Wednesday. I decided to show this one off on the Friday, and I'm healing my normal method, which is going a lot better than the ink lock. I think that's what it was called. No surprise there, I have no pain. Already it's a little sore, maybe in the deep tissue, but even to the touch, there's no pain, and that's generally normal for me. So, I'll show it off. So we took out this big guy, and it was even bigger than I thought it was, because some of those lines had lightened up quite a bit down here. So it was kind of hard to tell what was going on. So we did double line it, same as this one. That's probably why this one stood out more than, say, this one. So I think that in the future we're going to go back and double line probably all of them, because even though this one didn't need it, I think this one could have benefited from a double line. That's basically where you just retrace and broaden the outer line of the tattoo so it gets to stand a little better, because you can see that this one is a little bit more washy than this one healed. But this one should heal more similarly to this one. A couple other things while I got the camera down here. There's two eyes here that scabbed up here and here. They were red when they were first done, and they're just a little pink now. And I don't even know if the light or camera will show that off here, but my artist is pretty convinced that when the silver skin, like the healing tissue, the milky layer over top, when that goes away, he's pretty sure that that red is going to come back to life quite a bit. But time will tell as far as I'm concerned. I think it would have to come back a lot. We did put two eyes in this tentacle as well, so there's going to be one here and here. But just because of how we healed last time, it was one of those, let's wait until this piece is healed before we pack color into it too, especially since it was all outlined again. So probably when we do the red touch-ups and everything, we'll just put the red into the tentacles we're putting eyes on now, just so that it makes it simpler. Next week, we're going to be trying out a whole new ball game, so to speak. We're going to be putting silver in the teeth of a healed tentacle. So like in here, like with these teeth, with the solid black here, these are going to be the parts that aren't lined are going to be packed with silver, or at least partially packed. I don't know exactly how much packing, how much we'll use to see the effect the first time. We'll probably do something like what we did with the red ink, where we just colored two spots first to see how it would heal. But I've got a pretty good feeling that the silver is actually going to work better than the white. And the end goal is to use both, to first lighten up with the silver, get that gray base in there, and then go back once that's healed and hit that again with white to kind of shift the gray balance to more of a light color. So like if you see this here with the white ink on my moon, it's got more of like it's got a higher gray balance towards white, but it's still got like kind of a gray look. With the silver, we might get more of an intense, lighter gray to begin with, and then that's a better baseline to add a white to after. So that's kind of the thinking there. But yeah, really love this tentacle. I love the hard black in it, and I think it's going to heal really, really well. And we just have this one little tentacle up here to do next week. So since that's not going to take very long, that's probably going to take 45 minutes or half an hour. We're also going to do the center of the eye. Finally, we've decided on the texture that we're going to do. We're going to end up doing almost like a fly eye, or like almost like a waffle pattern, if that makes any sense. It will look like a fly eye once it's done, because we're again going to incorporate silver into the pattern, so that it creates kind of sheen, or like a shine towards the center that fades towards the edges. And we're even probably going to bring a little bit more red into the eye, like the pupil, because now that we know we can actually use red over black, we can change this eye shape as much as we want. We don't have to just use black over the red. We can actually build more red in there too if we want. So yeah, the eye is going through some more changes this next coming week. I'm really excited about it. Actually, this tattoo session I think is going to be, I said that about the tentacles, but I think that the eye opener for a lot of people, not me, because my eyes are open and no pun intended, but I think the eye opener for me is going to be, or not for me, sorry, for a lot of people is going to be seeing just the scope of what's possible and available. Like once we start doing silver over things, because we're at the stage now where essentially the first part of this torso is finished. So what I mean by first part is like all the big key tentacles are out of the way. So the stuff that we originally aligned, the spider eyes and tentacles, they're done. And by the way, the spider eyes are getting redder every week, which is why Rick really believes that red in my stomach is going to come back, because even these are still in some stage of healing. There's still a little bit of shimmer from the scar tissue healing, because my chest has been tattooed so many times, it takes quite a while to fully heal. So as time goes on, that shine goes away and more of the red shows through. So they're looking pretty cool. They're only getting better. They're not getting more. That's the funny thing. And I know I've said this before, but everyone thinks that this stuff gets worse over time, but it doesn't mush together or anything like that. What happens is the balance gets stronger. The contrast gets stronger. So as the new work settles in, it actually ends up looking more defined as time goes on, not less. There's a lot to get through today, so I do have plans for the next session already. I discussed it with Rick just at the end of Wednesday's session, that we've got these spots here, like here and say in here, and I don't really want to, and like in here, I don't really want to just keep adding tentacles necessarily, although in a way. So what I've decided I want to do is, so we have the red eyes established, and we know that we can use red ink to create another layer. I think we need some bigger spots of red ink, and the way we're going to do this is we're going to have like a tentacle that's real close up in those spots where it's like there's an opening and it's a really close up on an eye, and it'll be a really detailed red eye, and just kind of put those like giant close-up tentacles wherever we have space for them, kind of thing. So there may be 3. It doesn't even have to be an even number necessarily, because these are kind of chaotic anyway. So that's what we're going to do with those areas, and it's going to kind of pull everything together. And he was really on board for that. It's a great use of the space, and it inspires some creativity in making each eye a little bit different too, because already in the eyes that we've done, the pupils have been different in each of them. So just having bigger eyes to play with is going to be a lot of fun, not just for him, but for me too. I realized they turned a corner too. I always hated getting my stomach tattooed, both my first suit and then famously, I've told the story lots on the podcast and some of these vlogs, but stomach blackout sessions are the grossest ones I've ever had. And I even threw up one day after a stomach blackout session. I was so haggard after it. So I was not really looking forward to getting so much lining and shading and small detail on my stomach again, because that's what my first suit was. For anyone who doesn't somehow doesn't realize it yet, blackout is a lot more painful than a typical tattoo, in my opinion anyway. But that being said, my first suit had tons of detail. So for people who think, oh, blackout's easy, it's over quick, it goes fast. Yeah, I've had both though. I've had both little details and solid black. And I'm once again saying this from just experiencing it. I will take the small details any day, because I'm not hating any part of these sessions. Now, Kevin, the guy I do the podcast and Remy Reacts with, he thinks that that's partially because, you're on the precipice of discovery, or you're on a new frontier where you're trying things and you're getting new results, and there's some like inspiration to do that, rather than with the Blackout. You kind of know where you're going and you know it's going to work, and so there's no curiosity factor. So it's becoming less and less about growth and change, and more about getting through the day. Not to say that the Blackout wasn't interesting in its own way, because it certainly was. And I will say I learned more about myself during some intense Blackout sessions than any other physical pain I've been through has taught me. There's nothing else like it. But I do agree with that. Anytime that you feel like there's a real good reward, or like a curiosity fueling your pursuit, I do feel like the pain becomes almost secondary to the curiosity, or the genuine inspiration of it. And I realized I had a bit of an epiphany just yesterday, I guess it was yesterday morning, that this might not end, and that's kind of okay. Like I've always said that I'm probably going to be done one day, but now that I'm seeing like I can keep changing things, sort of, not that I'm going to cover any of this new stuff that I'm doing, but I can keep enhancing it. So, for example, when I first put that video up on Instagram of the lines of my new work, when I had just the lines of the torso done, I think a lot of people were scared, or like apprehensive about it, or it's like, are you just going to damage the Blackout now, or what is all this stuff? Because there's definitely people out there that think I should have got rid of the chest piece and the eye. There's that contingent of people who think I should have just gone full Blackout and called it a day, because that would have been better for them, I guess. It's an aesthetic. But for me, it was never about aesthetic anyway, so it's just about the process. And now I'm in a realm of process, but also with discovery. So I feel like it's almost, I've opened up a new book of potential, not just for me, but even for some people watching, where it's like, if you're willing to put the time in, anything is possible. Anything is possible. There's nothing that, I don't think there's any color we couldn't get to stay over black. I honestly don't. I think if I wanted to, I could put a rainbow on my shoulder. I think I could. And I'm not going to. But I've gotten to that level of confidence in what's available to me, that there's no idea that I wouldn't think, oh, I could do that. Like, there's no idea that I think is beyond reach for me anymore. So when I'm done, what that might look like is almost a full color bodysuit, with black as the main beat. So like, you see these spider eyes on my chest. Just envision that a year from now, when I'm doing another vlog, we might be talking about the new giant, like, bicep piece that I just had finished with silver and red and black and white highlights and all kinds of shit. Like, that's definitely on the table. And I'm happy we started the way I did, with the black on black being the bones. And I think the bones of every new tattoo will be done with black on black from here out. I don't think I'll white line anything. I think that idea is over for me before it even started. I think you start with a black on black outline, and then you go in with any other color you want after. I'm not saying you can't white line, but I think that the bones of any strong, bold tattoo should have a dark outline. And since we can do that, then we can get color to stand within that bold outline. So, as far as just what I'm going to do next. It's really, I'm an open canvas, and I've known that for a little while, but I think it really all hit home for me just yesterday, where it was like, there's no project I can't go after if I want to. So if this ends up being, now I'm over 900 hours into tattooing, this could very easily end up being a 2,000 hour bodysuit by the end. And that means going over some places ad nauseum. As I already said, those teeth and the tentacles are at least 2 more passes. Now, those are areas that had other tattoos that were done several times already, and then those areas themselves were blacked out several times. So then we've lined them, double lined them, and then we're going to add silver, and then white, and then maybe white again, right? So it's basically a game of patience and discipline and nothing else. There's no other factors that bar you from entry. Anything that anyone else says that's counter to that, I think, is either an indication of their skill level as an artist or their apprehension mentally, because it's not physically impossible to do anything like this. And I just think that a lot of people really limit themselves unnecessarily before they even try, because I'm saying Rick is a great artist, but there's a lot of great artists out there that just, they don't have that ambition or that vision. They don't have that curiosity, I guess. Because you would think you would see more of this stuff if we just one pass get a solid red over black, and you never see it. It's never spoken of. Where is it? It's nowhere. It's nowhere. It's crazy to me. And just saying that is enough reason for me to keep going and kind of spreading this around and sharing it with the world as I get farther into it myself. It's enough inspiration on its own, because someone's going to see this and go, oh shit, you know what? I didn't even like my black sleeve. It was just the only thing I could do. Maybe I had bad tattoos there. Maybe I had racist tattoos. Maybe I had jail tattoos, prison tattoos, whatever. But now I can actually have a full color piece over it. Like, that's inspirational. That's stuff that people should be talking about. That's stuff that the Instagram algorithm, that should push that stuff, because there's nothing more inspirational in the tattoo realm than that, if you ask me. I think maybe if people knew that, like I've said this before, but I really think that the laser industry might really have a hard time after that, because if you could go without all of the scarring that you get from laser and all that pain, and laser is very expensive and very slow, if you could take that element away and just black something out, and then you can do full color over it eventually, if people knew that widespread, I don't know how much laser would be doing anymore. I think that might be the end of laser tattoo removal, to be quite honest, because not everybody's going to black out their whole body, but they might black out that one tattoo they got and then color it into a full sleeve, because you could continue that color and you could almost make that blackout vanish. I'm not saying any artist is capable of it. A good artist would be capable of doing something like that. It's just not commonly believed. Anyway, I've gotten into a long tangent here. This is almost 20 minutes, and I definitely didn't mean to talk that long. But I did want to talk a little bit about that sort of a revelation that I had. And it's been inspiration for me, and I think it's going to be inspirational to others as well. And so I think I would be irresponsible not to talk a little bit about that side of it. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this one, make sure to like it and share it with your friends, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.